Good morning and welcome to our online music class. Today we're going to talk a little bit about note values and how many beats each note is worth. Go ahead and take out your worksheet that looks like this, and let's pull up to the side that says notes. There's another side that says rest, but we are on the notes side. First thing, go ahead and put your name on the top right hand corner, first and last name, and also write what grade you're in. You can pause the video if you need a second to do that. All right, well, the first note we have at the top, this one right here, looks like a big circle, and that is our whole note, W-H-O-L-E. I would like you to write it on the line right here. Write W-H-O-L-E, because it is our whole note. Think of our whole note like a whole pizza. Whole pizza. Now our whole note is worth not 1, not 2, but 4 beats. So I'd like you to draw a number 4 for 4 beats. Now, notice how our next note right here, it's like the whole note, but the space is split in half. Our pizza is split in half. And because of that, we call this our half note. H-A-L-F, our half note. Go ahead and put half note right over here on this line. Half. Since our half note is splitting our whole note in half, it's worth 2 beats. So half note, 2 beats. Draw in that right now. And last but not least, you might notice that there's only one half note here and this space is blank. It's for you to draw a half note yourself. So go ahead and draw in the half note and finish that line. Next, if we look carefully, our paper down here has been split into 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. It's been split into quarters, like there's 4 quarters and $1. This is our quarter note. So write quarter. Note's already written for you at the bottom. Quarter. And our quarter note is worth 1 beat because we know that our whole note is worth 4 and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes. Each one equals 1 beat. Okay, last but not least, this is our 8th note. Why is it called an 8th note? Well, if we look carefully, we can see that in our whole note, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 notes. So we call it our 8th note because there's 8 of them in a whole note. So write 8th note down here on this line. And this one's kind of tricky. Notice how the quarter note's worth 1 beat. There's 2 8th notes in 1 beat. That must mean that each 8th note is worth half of a beat. So draw me a fraction 1/2, half of a beat. Now don't forget, you have to draw in all of these 8th notes. Notice how our half note is hollow in the center. Our quarter note is filled in. And our 8th note is also filled in, but he has this little flag on the back side. Pause the video if you need more time, because I am moving along. On the back side, you should have this worksheet. Now I'm going to tell you a secret. All the answers on this worksheet are exactly the same. This is our whole rest, W-H-O-L-E, 4 beats. This is our half rest, H-A-L-F, worth 2 beats because our whole rest is split in half. Now, these two figures look very similar, but they are not the same. Let's look carefully. Our whole note is worth 4 beats, and he likes to hang low underneath the line. But our half note is worth 2 beats, and because he's lighter, he weighs less. He sits above the line. Another way you can think of it is our whole note is in the ground like a hole, and our half note sits up high like a hat, half and hat, whole and whole. Next we have our quarter note, so quarter, 1 beat. Now when you're drawing your quarter notes, there's a trick. Let me get a piece of paper and I am going to show you an easier way to draw them. The paper makes it look so hard, but it's not. first you're going to draw a Z. And then under that Z, you're going to draw a lowercase c. Now, it looks a little bit silly, so I'm going to draw that again, and I'm going to slant my Z like this, looking at that one, and then I'm going to draw a lowercase c. The one with the circle is what yours should look like, a slanted Z and a lowercase c. If you draw that, that is our quarter rest. And last but not least, we have our eighth rest, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eighth rests in a whole note. Eighth rests, half of a beat. When you are drawing your eighth rests, there's a trick to your eighth rests as well. You'll draw a circle, fill it in, circle, fill it in. You're going to try to draw a little upward swoopy. And then your line comes down. That is our eighth rest. Make sure this whole chart is filled out, the rest side as well as the note side. Since you received this assignment from your homeroom teacher, you will be submitting it to your homeroom teacher as well, and they will be giving it to me. Now, I want to make sure that you watch this video all the way through. And if you watch this video all the way through, I'd like you to find your note side. I'd like you to take your whole note and draw a smiley face in it. That way I can tell that you watched the video. If you have any questions, you're always more than welcome to email me, but if not, I will see you next week.